So I've been asked the most about the repetition and movement assignment. So basically what I'm wanting you to do is to choose an object, any object of your choice. I'm going with something that's a little more interesting. It's a little rubber ducky, and you can either like put it on the paper and trace it. I'm not into tracing, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to like freehand draw this rubber ducky repeatedly, like more than once. So when you start drawing, draw light until you're sure it's right. I'm going to start with the head, and then I see his beak. And there's an eye. Some eyelashes. Back of the head, and then it goes over to his butt, where he has a cute little tail. And then this comes around and then meets back up. And then finally the wing. So that would be the first drawing. And let me put in the details of the mouth here. So he's got the beak, the tongue, the lower beak. The next duck, it's the same duck for the next drawing. I'm going to change his position a little bit. So I'm going to make him looking at me. So I'm going to draw his head, and then his beak, and his tongue in there, lower beak, and then I see part of an eye on this side of his head, and the whole eye on this side of his head, and then the eyelashes. Don't see the eyelashes on that side. Gotta bring that cheek out a little bit. And then we've got where his tail is, and then the wing is protruding on this side, and the wing is protruding on that side. And then I draw it in. So I'm gonna erase that line right there. And I'm just gonna keep switching positions till I fill the whole page. And I have places where I've ran the ducks off the page, where one is over top of another. That's called overlapping. Overlap. And there needs to be at least eight of your object. Okay. Step 3 is you take a string or a ribbon or something like that you can lay over top of your ducks or your whatever you chose to draw. So for me, I'm going to use this charging cord because I don't, off the top of my head, know where a piece of string is. So what I'm doing is just laying it on here so that I have a place that I can just like create a line that just flows throughout the page. And on this part, you really do just want to go over the ducks and everything, or whatever it is you drew. And I'm going to let this fall off the page. So now I have this random line going through that I used my charging cord to draw. Okay? And then the last step is taking your pencil and adding shading or value. So these ducks are all like yellow duckies. His beak is bright orange and his tongue is like red. But I am not coloring. I'm using my pencil to shade in. So on each of these ducks, I'm going to start coloring in with my pencil. So this will represent my orange. It's kind of a medium gray. For the tongue, I'm going to make that darker. So it's going to be like a dark gray or black. For his eye, same thing. For the duck itself, I'm going to just shade lightly, very, very lightly, because he's yellow. And I may even leave some areas white to be the highlights, and come back and make places where there's shadows. but I'm gonna do this to all 10 of my duckies until they all look very nicely shaded. And add some extra shading on the wing. And so that's what we're doing. You have through Friday to finish the project. Take a picture of it and upload it, and that's it.